Talk about low-budget flights, no food or movies? I'm out of here. I like running better. Welcome back, YouTube viewers, to another video. So, I'm a big fan of Looney Tunes, which is something I've never talked about before because it's never been relevant. But it is now because the new Looney Tunes movie just came out a few days ago. The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. Now, before I talk about spoilers that this video is going to be, I'm going to give a quick non-spoiler review in case you haven't seen it. Because yeah, this movie has not been doing well at the box office. Although it also isn't being shown in that many theaters, doesn't have too much time left before it leaves theaters. But if it does some more numbers, it could get another week or something apparently. So yeah, I heard this movie went through a lot of stuff. It was made, then it was going to be released on Max, then they canceled it. Now they finally released it. It's a whole thing. And I'll say that, yes, you should go see this because it's a 2D animated movie that's getting released in theaters in 2025. That's a pretty big deal. And maybe we'll get the other movies released, like Wile E. Coyote versus Acme, which is something I actually do want to see. But what I think about the movie itself, it's pretty good, but it's a 7 out of 10. Like, I don't get why people say this is the perfect Looney Tunes movie. I'm assuming you guys haven't seen a Looney Tunes cartoon in years, cause no, not even close. Now, I still liked this movie. Like, I appreciate some of the things it does, like how it's not about Bugs Bunny, it's about Daffy Duck and Porky Pig. They're old there's some really great old team up cartoons like Porky's Pig Feet, Drip Along Daffy, um, Robin Hood Daffy, I think it's called, Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century, 25th and a half century, whatever. Those are all great old cartoons. One thing about the movie that, yeah, I also like that it's drawn. The characters look more like characters from the 40s cartoons, which I really appreciate. But the actual movie is just good. Like, it has some. I got a lot of chuckles throughout, but I only got a few big laughs. It just didn't quite hit the same kind of tone I think I wanted it to, and I think it just had too much plot. Like, I can think of a way simpler version of this, but we'll get to that toward the end. So yeah, that's my non-spoiler review. I liked it. It was pretty good. It's worth watching at least once. Okay, now I want to talk about each character. So Daffy and Porky, I'd say they're pretty good here. One, since this was made to be a streaming movie originally, and it focuses just on these cartoon characters, there are no celebrity voice actors. The star of this movie is Eric Bauza. You don't know how happy I was to be sitting on a big screen to see a movie that says starring Eric Bauza, Candy Milo, Peter MacNeil, and Fred Tatasciore. Like it's pretty stacked voice actors. I don't obviously Eric Bauza is never going to live up to Mel Blanc. Like that's impossible. That's an impossibly high standard. But I think he's pretty good as Daffy and Porky. It's okay. I think he's pretty good as Daffy. But so how are they here? I think Daffy is pretty well characterized all throughout. And one thing I liked is how in the opening with him and Porky and Farmer Jim, Daffy gets a mount for his birthday and he goes, "Ooh." He does these crazy woo 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 sounds, which at the end they stop the asteroid from destroying Earth by Daffy using his mallet and acting all crazy. I appreciate that because most people know Daffy Duck is just this arrogant guy. That's his character. It's funny. But in his first few years of existence, he was wacky. He was super crazy and wild. There was still a bit of that arrogance there, but he was more of this wacky character. And he even did those are the sound effects he did. Woo woo woo. So to see him do that on the big screen, that's how they win the day. It's a pretty cool touch. I like that. Porky is just fine. Like Porky Pig did have a lot of his own solo cartoons which are pretty good, but I think most can agree he's better as a sidekick. And yeah, he's good here. Like I don't really have that much to say about Porky Pig. I like how the movie is about how they grew up together. They're raised by this farmer, and some people can say that you wouldn't want them to have a backstory. Normally, I'd agree. I think this movie didn't even need to have that, but it does help. Some of the jokes and all that are actually pretty good. It helps the plot a bit, and I like that it doesn't take up a huge portion of the movie. It's what, a minute long, a minute and a half. And yeah, I find that kind of funny actually. You give this backstory with them, and then it speeds through it pretty quickly, and then they have their I guess their father is Farmer Jim guy, and he's the whole time he's drawn like a painting, so he doesn't actually move properly the way Daffy and Porky do. And at the end, he just like literally floats away into the sunset instead of dying. He disappears into the sunset. I think that's pretty funny. Yeah, I just like Daffy and Porky in this movie. I like how at the in the beginning they're told as long as they stick together, they'll do all right. And how do they survive at the end? By literally sticking together. I thought that was kind of funny. It's pretty clever, I guess. I'm gonna talk about the other characters. So yeah, it's kind of hard to get images of them because this movie just came out. But so yeah, I have no images of the scientist character who was voiced by Fred Tatasciore. But I'll just talk about him now. Thought he was pretty funny. Because I like how the movie opens with him, like some old 50s B movie, because that's what kind of this movie's a reference to. I like that he's even intentionally drawn like a character from, like a human from one of those movies, and not like a traditional Looney Tunes human. It's clever. And now there's the Petunia Pig and the Invader are the main new characters. Well, not Petunia Pig's not a new character. Like she's in a few of the old cartoons, but that's it. I don't know, I thought she was fine here, I guess. I guess she was voiced by Candy Milo. I know she's the voice of Jimmy Neutron. I've never watched that show, so I don't think I've ever actually heard her voice, but I know she's done a lot, so it's cool to see her, especially since, yeah, she was a star of Jimmy Neutron, a pretty big show, so it's cool that she gets to be, have a leading role on a mainstream animated movie. It's nice. I thought her character with being obsessed with flavor and all that was fine. It's funny, I guess. Like, I don't have a ton to say about her. But the romance with Porky was kind of lame. Well, that doesn't really need to be here. I didn't mind it too much, though. Now there's the Invader, the alien guy, voiced by Peter McNeil, who you might know as Doc Ock in the Spectacular Spider-Man. I was trying to figure out where I heard this guy's voice, and then I realized halfway through. He's not doing the same voice, but it's a little similar, so I think that's pretty funny. I do actually like his character quite a lot. You at first, for a while, you think he's the villain. He gets all these crazy evil laughs. And then he coughs like he's Eggman or something from Sonic Generations. You know, that kind of thing. His little back and forth with the scientist guy who he turns into his minion is kind of funny. And I like how it's revealed at the end that, oh no, he wasn't actually trying to destroy the Earth. He was trying to shield the Earth with a giant bubblegum shield thing to prevent a huge asteroid from colliding with the Earth. And yeah, I just think it was pretty entertaining. Like, I don't, yeah. I will say though, it's pretty dumb to have a Looney Tunes movie about an alien that is trying to, and the Earth is at risk of being destroyed, and Marvin the Martian is not here. Why is he not here? Oh, and one more thing. I like how when I did probably the most, all the big laughs I got from this movie were from the alien. Like when Daffy and Porky are having their big cliche second act argument, and he starts eating popcorn while watching them, which I just want to say that, well, this movie may have just been a 7 out of 10. It was good. I have to say it did the two characters break up at the end of the second act and get into an argument cliche much better than a lot of other animated movies. It's not even saying, oh, this movie is so bad, I did it better than those. But no, I thought it did that trope pretty well. Like, I actually did understand why Daffy and Porky were arguing with each other. It made sense. And for a comedy, it's fine to have something like that here. And yeah, just I like the side characters there are pretty good. Like a lot of the side humans in general had some funny lines, I guess. What was it? Oh yeah, I liked how if you ever watched the old Looney Tunes cartoons, the humans are drawn in this specific style. Well, they aren't quite drawn like that here, with a few exceptions. Like this one recurring human character in the background looks like one of the gangsters. There are a few Looney Tunes cartoons with these two gangsters guys. Yeah, same type of head, but a lot of the background humans actually look like Animaniacs characters, so I really appreciate that. But now it's time for me to talk about how I'd rewrite this movie. Now, you may be wondering, what is the poster of a Jerry Lewis movie? Actually, you're probably wondering who Jerry Lewis even is. And a picture of Marvin the Martian have to do with this. So, after I watched this movie, one of the people I watched it with suggested that this movie should have been like the Jerry Lewis movie Hardly Workin'. So, now I have to tell you guys what Hardly Workin' is. Well, first of all, you should watch it. You can watch the whole thing on YouTube for free. But so the movie's about Jerry Lewis is one of the most accomplished comedians of all time, but he did this movie where it begins with Jerry Lewis as a clown, but the circus he works at gets closed down, so he has to find a new job. So the first act is basically just about him running around these little vignettes, getting all these different jobs and failing at them in comedic fashion until he gets a job working at the post office, and that's where he spends most of the movie. And I thought with the exception of them becoming internet stars, which is just disgusting, I thought the montage that we do get in this movie of Daffy and Porky trying to find new jobs in the beginning was actually pretty funny. But that was just a super quick montage. I think what would have been better is if, yeah, you still begin the movie with the intro with Farmer Jim, them growing up and all that, and you go into them needing money to fix their roof. But then a lot of the movie is them searching around trying to get new jobs, failing at them in comedic fashion with all this sort of slapstick, that kind of thing. But then how do we bring in Marvin the Martian? The fact that this movie is supposed to be about the day the Earth blew up. Simple. In between the Daffy and Porky's comedic hijinks, you get these strange you get these random scenes that make it look like an asteroid is approaching the Earth. But then in the third act, I guess, the asteroid finally approaches Earth with a message broadcasted by Marvin the Martian, who is here to blow up the Earth. Isn't that lovely? I don't know, I think that would be pretty funny. It's just clever. And now Daffy and Porky have to use the skills they got from all their random jobs to stop the asteroid. I think that would have been a really good Looney Tunes movie. Maybe much like Hardly Working, you could have them get one specific job they spend about half the movie using, but much like that movie, you also have more actual scenes of them working other jobs, like as paper boys, maybe bakers or something like that. Just to add in some more slapstick, because yeah, the actual movie we have just is a little too plot heavy. And yeah, I think my rewrite would have been pretty good. I'm not going to pretend to be some kind of master writer, but I don't know. As a guy who's watched many, many Looney Tunes cartoons, I think I know it'd be a good Looney Tunes movie. In conclusion, I think this is a good movie, and it's worth watching at least once, but it's just nothing that memorable or great. Though I will say that this movie made me think after watching it, even though I liked it, is it possible to even make a great Looney Tunes movie? Because you're taking a bunch of 7-minute shorts and turning them into an hour-and-a-half feature. That's not easy to do, and yeah, I do think the rewrite of this movie suggested could be great. I'm just saying that maybe making one of these isn't as easy as it sounds. So, yeah, I still like this movie. I do hope we get more Looney Tunes movies, because I hope we get more 2D animated movies. Even if we don't, in the very least, I'd like for them to release the other 2 movies they canceled, like Bye Bye Bunny, a Looney Tunes musical, and Wile E. Coyote vs. Acme. Those could be fun, and yeah, I just hope we get some more stuff like this. Because again, even though this movie wasn't anything that special, it is still a big deal in a way, and I hope we can get some more things like it. Like it, not exactly like it. So, comment down below what you thought of this. That's all for now, and remember to stay way past cool.